My boyfriend, whom I've known since childhood, confessed a week before our wedding that he had cheated on me with my sister and that she was pregnant. But 2 years later, I laugh because the baby isn't his, and he wants to come back. 2 years ago, I had to break off my engagement because my fiancé cheated on me with my sister. This happened just 1 week before the wedding, and only 3 days ago, he had the audacity to try to come back. My ex-fiancé, Jason, not his real name, and I had known each other since we were kids. We went to the same school our entire lives and started dating when we were 14 years old. After dating for almost 12 years, we decided to get engaged. Obviously, it felt right to me. He was the one who proposed marriage, so honestly, I had no reason to suspect he was cheating on me, much less with my sister, as she and I were also very close. My younger sister, Lily, also not her real name, is 2 years younger than me, and we were practically best friends growing up. She was even going to be my maid of honor at my wedding. But that never happened. A couple of weeks after we got engaged, I started noticing that Jason's behavior had become very strange. It was just little things, like how he seemed distracted very often when I talked about the wedding, and he mostly tried to avoid talking about it. He spent a lot of time at work, and I felt like he didn't want to see me. I don't know, it was just weird. So, I tried to talk to him several times and told him that if he was having doubts about the wedding, we could still postpone it and wait for a better time. We didn't have to get married that same year. But he told me he wanted to get married and constantly reassured me. For almost 8 months, he kept me in the dark. But I guess he found the courage just 1 week before our wedding. Maybe it was that, or the fact that my sister was pregnant, that finally forced them to tell me about their affair. Either way, it really broke me when he told me, and the worst part was that now, with her being pregnant, he was planning to marry her. According to what Jason told me, they had always had a bit of flirting whenever they met, but it had been a recent development. He never told me because he thought it was harmless, but one night while he was drinking with his friends, he ran into Lily. That was it. Since they were both drunk, they ended up sleeping together and promised not to do it again. But it happened several times after that, and by the time we got engaged, they were having a full-blown affair. He told me he thought getting engaged to me would help them stop, but it didn't. He tried to make it sound like they really had no control, but I didn't believe him. The day Jason told me the truth, that he had been having an affair with Lily for the past year, I returned the engagement ring to him that same day and told him to move out of the house. I guess he had prepared for that since he already had his bags packed and left without saying a word. After that, I didn't talk to my sister either because I really had nothing to say to her. With just a week left before the wedding, I knew there were going to be a lot of expenses wasted, so I told Jason to take care of it because I wasn't going to spend a dime. Obviously, I was devastated, so I didn't even leave my house for the next few days. Lily came to visit me a couple of days after I found out, but she had to leave without seeing me because I didn't want anything to do with her. She left a note on my door saying she was really sorry before she left, but it didn't mean anything to me. Neither of them could undo what they had done, and the truth was that she was going to have a baby with the man I loved. In situations like this, most people would expect their family to be by their side, but instead, my parents decided to support Lily as if she were the victim here. I don't understand what they were thinking, but on the day we were supposed to get married, my parents called me in the morning to ask how I was doing. They had been doing that every day for a week since I found out about Jason and Lily. While we were talking casually, they suddenly told me that Jason and Lily were going to get married in a private ceremony and that they were going to be there. This was a shock to me because, after finding out about the affair, my parents were furious and told me they would never speak to Lily again. But now they were suddenly telling me they were going to bless the union between my ex-fiancé and my sister. When I didn't say anything, they started explaining that they had been very upset with Lily, but she had begged them to attend because she didn't want to get married without her parents. Also, she was 6 weeks pregnant and in an emotional state, so my parents felt they had to be there for her and hoped I would understand. I told them just one thing, that they could attend her wedding if they wanted, but I would never speak to them again. They tried to tell me I was being unfair, but honestly, I didn't care at that moment. So in the end, my parents just told me they were going to the wedding, and I could be angry if I wanted. Lily was their daughter, and they couldn't help it. So that was that. Since then, 2 years have passed, but I've never spoken to Lily or my parents. Gradually, the rest of the family found out about everything because, obviously, this isn't something people can keep secret for long. Once they found out, they talked to me, and I told them the truth about everything. So at this point, very few people in our family maintain a relationship with my parents or Lily. I didn't really know what they had been up to, but thanks to Jason, now I do. 3 days ago, I was about to leave for work in the morning when Jason showed up, which was quite surprising to me. I hadn't seen him in 2 years and hadn't even heard about him since I told all my friends I didn't want to know what he was doing. I was pretty much speechless seeing him at my door, and he took the opportunity to tell me that he was there to apologize for everything that happened in the past and try to give our relationship a second chance. To be honest, I was completely frozen. This was the first time I had seen him since our terrible breakup, as I had. You can click on share more to see if there is a part 2.